Hello and welcome to this edition of Ringside Digest. I'm your host Kirk Day, along with my co-host Byrne and Nick Miller. And in this video, we're going to be talking about something a little different. We're going to be going over the Arizona situation. Now, don't click off. We're not talking about the actual team. We're talking about the possibility of them relocating and potentially moving away from Arizona. So you can stay. Don't worry. We're not going to bore you with this Arizona news. We got a lot of it. We got some bids that have been declined by the Arizona city, or the Tempe city in Arizona. They're going to be they're not happy with the team, basically. But we're going to go over all that in this video. But before we get into it, make sure to subscribe if you want to see more content from us. We have a lot of stuff coming. Playoffs are now in the conference finals, getting down to the wire. We're almost at the finals. Some pretty good teams, some pretty interesting teams in the playoffs right now. So you're going to want to see what we have to say about that and all that coming along down the line. So like I said, make sure to subscribe. And then we're going to go straight into this one, though. The Arizona Coyotes stadium bid has been declined by the city of Tempe. So this came out earlier. We are very disappointed Tempe voters did not approve Proposition 301, 302, and 303. As Tempe Mayor Corey Wood said, it was the best sports deal in Arizona history. The Coyotes wish to thank everyone who supported our efforts and voted yes. So Tempe voters declined a $2.1 billion entertainment district and arena for the Arizona Coyotes, and I think like the surrounding area to have almost like a fun zone type thing of what they tried to do with the Astrodome back in God knows when. But they also sent this letter out to the season ticket holders of the very few of them, of the Arizona Coyotes, says, to our pack. While we were very disappointed Tempe voters did not approve the proposed entertainment district, we want to thank all our loyal fans who supported the Coyotes over the years. Your loyalty is what makes our pack stronger. During the 2023-24 season, the Arizona Coyotes will play at Mullet Arena. In addition, we remain committed to Arizona and have started re-engaging in local officials and sites to solidify a permanent new home in the Valley. We look forward to sharing more moments with you coming weeks. Sincerely, Xavier Gutierrez. So basically, that kind of means that the Arizona Coyotes still have a possibility of staying in Arizona, but it is not likely at all. If they decline this $2.1 billion proposition, I don't see it happening. So I think I know what we all think at this one, but what do you guys think about this proposition being declined and the Arizona Coyotes situation as a whole? Start with you, Noah.
I don't know why they're still trying to play over there in Arizona. We've seen, like you said, everything got rejected and everything got kind of terminated almost, but they still can't even sell out the Mullet Arena, which is, what was it, 5,000 or 5,500
like
or something?
4,600 or something like that.
Yeah, they can't even sell that arena out. So why are you still trying? It's at the point now you almost need to accept the fate and explore the relocation.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if the team relocates, Toronto Maple Leafs fans exhale, all collectively exhale. Austin Matthews is probably not going to go home. So, with the whole situation there the past couple of years, they made it really hard. Everyone thought this was like a real possibility for a couple of years. But then, with the whole playing in a college stadium, kind of tainted that a little bit. But with this whole situation, from what I saw, the arena looked very, very well put together. The whole proposition looked very well put together. It's just, I think the fans have spoken and the people have spoken. They don't want the team there. They don't want hockey there. They rather their other sports. And that's their decision. So move it out of there into a place where they'll be loved as a team.
Yeah, the Sun Devils definitely do have a better representation in that arena. It is more of a college arena. That's a perfect college arena, the atmosphere. But most of the fans that were at Mullet Arena were of opposing teams. Of the 4,600, about half of them were from the away team, usually. And we've seen it when Mullet Arena first opened for the Coyotes. There was no away dressing room. They were in behind a curtain sitting on chairs. And you had to, walk through a hallway and out of the, arena. It was just absolutely ridiculous for an NHL team. An NHL team walking through a hallway outside to get to the arena and sitting on chairs, changing, not acceptable. But we're also going to go over the possible relocation locations for the Arizona Coyotes. A few have been kind of in circulation lately and have been for the past few years of expansions. But now that this news about a relocations happen, could be it's a lot cheaper than what it would be to have an expansion to build a new arena. So we're going to go over the teams that we got here. I got 4 here that have been pretty prominent over the past few days with this news coming out. We're going to start off here with the Utah Jazz owner Ryan Smith of Salt Lake City. He has publicly expressed that interest in an NHL team. Could Salt Lake City become a relocation target? Relocation fees are significant. This would leave Houston, Atlanta as potential expansion areas down the road, much larger expansion dollars and options. So we also do have Houston in this list, but we're going to go over Utah right now. Salt Lake City it does look like a hockey town. If you look at an image of it just from like over the salt flats, it looks like a hockey city. They have the capabilities of it. They have the arena where the Utah Jazz play, Vivint Arena. So I guess you would just have to really get that renovations to make it be able to hold ice, which I don't think would be very much of an issue if you have a very solid arena that Utah does have. So I think I like that possibility. It's a pretty nice location. I mean, around the city's nice, you know. It's not a bad idea. I'm going to get your guys' input as well at the end. I'm going to go through them first and just see what you guys think of which one is more likely. Now, the second one we have here is Houston. Like I said, hockey's growing fast in Texas. We know that. You can see by Dallas's playoff run, they have a packed house every home game. Very, very good fans as well from watching the games against Minnesota. So, I mean, I think Houston, they're trying to grow the game in Texas, and it's working, unlike Arizona. So if you get another team in Houston, in Houston, you'll get an in-state rivalry between the Dallas Stars and the Houston, whatever the team will be. I think that'd be pretty good. I think that would even get more fans going because, you know, you'll have some people who will just hop on the bandwagon living in Houston probably saying, oh, this Houston team, new NHL team, we're going to have a rivalry against. I think it'll be a very good one. Almost something similar to what Quebec and Montreal had. Now, not to that extent, but you know, that those clashes that they've had is like something that I could see happening. Yeah. Just like, you know, it's not as significant, but the Cowboys and Texans, something similar to that. And like the Houston team, like Dallas Mavericks, Houston Rockets. Speaking of the Houston Rockets, that is the location. The Toyota Center, I would assume, is where it would be. Again, you'd have to renovate to make sure the ice is able to be like up to standards there. But I'm pretty sure that's pretty much for all of them. That's what's going to happen if it's like an NBA arena or something. And we're going to go to our third one here now, which is Kansas City. Big one here was Patrick Mahomes tweeting, Kansas City Coyotes has a nice ring to it. NHL, what do y'all think? And T-Mobile Center, he tags there, which is, I would assume, the venue, that will host it. It's currently, I believe, a vacant arena for like events like Monster Jam. A UFC fight night was held there a little while ago. But in Patrick Mahomes saying this, you would have to assume that he'd probably be a part owner, just like he did with the Kansas City Royals, the MLB. Patrick Mahomes has a voice, and we all know this from being NFL fans as well. When he says something, he can make it happen. If he has an idea, you got to think it'd be pretty hype to see Travis Kelce and Patrick Mahomes down in that arena, getting the crowd going. You got to fight for your right to party. That'd be pretty cool, I got to say.
Yeah.
And with our final one here, I think is what we all have expected to be here, just as an option, regardless of if it's a possibility or not, is Quebec City in Quebec. Many people want the team back, and we know this. People have been voicing it. They want expansion or a relocation, many of which are saying from Arizona for the longest time, even before this news broke out. And we know that they have an amazing arena in the Videotron down in Quebec City where the Ramparts currently play and pretty much sell out every game they go to. So that is it might not be the biggest possibility because, you know, Gary Bettman likes his American teams, but this is a very, very exciting one just to be able to think of having a team back in Quebec. You guys as Montreal fans, if you get to see a Quebec and Montreal rivalry, that'll be absolutely insane.
Yeah.
So those are like the four serious ones we have. But we also have this tweet here, which is also from Darren Drager, like earlier. Many things considered to relate to the Arizona Coyotes news. The Suns owner, Matt Ishbia, I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, have interest in buying the Coyotes and moving them downtown. This might be ideal, although the building would obviously need hockey reno, just like most of the other ones you'd have to assume would. Now, the Suns have a very, very good following in the NBA. Very good. So, I mean, if he buys that team, the owner of the Suns, you might see some basketball fans from the Suns fans head over to the NHL. That could be a possibility. It'd be much cheaper, as we know. It would still cost a lot more money, but instead of having to move a whole team, you know, it'd be something to look at. Maybe something interesting. Mm-hmm. That's also another possibility. So let me know, guys. Noah, you start first. What do you think, or what would be your favorite expansion here of the four I just listed?
I just want to talk about another thing real quick.
Yep.
With Matt Ishbia or the Suns owner, the way they have it rigged up down in Phoenix is they have the Suns arena and then they have the Diamondbacks arena. So it could all kind of be like that.
Entertainment like district they wanted.
Exactly. So that could work. But I like that idea. But I got to talk about Kansas City. And I mean, I'm not going to talk about Quebec just to be a little bit different too. But I love the idea of going to Kansas City. Like you said, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce could be the two kind of spokesperson or spokespeople, I should say, for Kansas City. So I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I agree with you.
You know, Kansas City has a diehard fan base for their sports teams. They've they've been very well over the past decade. They've won a couple championships in every sport. So, I mean, it'd be very interesting to see Kansas City, but I'm not going to be different. I'm going to talk about Quebec City. I've seen everyone's seen the clips from the rivalry back in the day with Montreal and Quebec. Like, you can't beat that. There were fights in the dressing rooms, like in the hallways going to the dressing rooms, in the intermissions, in the warm-ups before the game. It's an animosity kind of thing you see between those two teams. And it'd be great to see Montreal and Quebec be able to play each other again. And the fans in Quebec deserve it. They've been doing so well with a junior hockey team.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Sellouts in a junior hockey arena. It's pretty much an NHL arena. It's just playing with a junior hockey team. So you'd love to see that kind of thing back in Quebec City. I like all the other options though. Houston, like you said, with that rivalry they could have with Dallas. I like all the options, but Quebec is definitely my favorite.
Yeah, I gotta agree with both of you. I like Salt Lake City, to be honest with you. I don't know, something about like the almost atmosphere feels like they have very good fan base as well with the Jazz, but like especially at that UFC event that happened a couple weeks ago. I know that's UFC fans, which is different, but you got to assume most of them will be from Salt Lake City. That crowd was insane. And it was a fight night. It was not a pay-per-view. There was a lot of people who were just coming up. There was not, I wouldn't say, the biggest group of fights, the best fighters, but the crowd was insane. And I can only imagine that being an NHL team as well, that with their fan base and the atmosphere that seemed like in Utah leading up the whole fight week. So I got to say, Salt Lake City would be pretty interesting, but I think all of these would do very well, whichever they choose, or whichever, if any of them happen. But, Arizona hasn't done themselves much favors in this, 15-year rebuild at all. They've been getting contracts, like, they're still paying Andrew Ladd. Like, you can't be doing that. So it's a tough situation for them, and they kind of did it themselves. There's not much that you can do about it at this point. You've passed your prime as a team, I guess you could say, and they're not getting it back. So we'll see what happens. Lots of time yet until this is all figured out. They're going to be playing next season in Mullet Arena for sure. That may be the last time, though, or we're going to see. We'll see. So that's all we got for this video. If you want to see more like this, like I said at the beginning of the video, make sure to subscribe, because we're going to be having a lot of stuff. We'll be talking about this more down the line when more stuff comes out about it as well. New hints, maybe, new areas, new locations, new teams. We'll be talking all about it. So make sure to like the video and also make sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching.